Speed, distance and time. Here's an example using speed, distance and time. Dean left home at 6 a.m. to travel from Sydney to Brisbane, a distance of 1,027 kilometres. He stopped for meal breaks and fuel and arrived in Brisbane at 8:30 p.m. What was his average speed for the trip, correct to the nearest kilometre per hour? Well, this is a speed, distance, time question. So when we're doing this sort of question, we need to remember that formula, that speed equals distance over time. So once we know this formula, we can then substitute some values that we know. So in this case, we are asked to try and find speed. So I'm going to say speed is question mark. Distance, I know, that's how far I've travelled, which is 1,027 kilometres. And the time, well, the time is I left at 6 a.m. and then I arrived at 8:30 p.m. And the difference in time there is 14 and a half hours. And I'll write that as 14.5. So now I've got my formula. Speed equals distance over time. So speed equals, the distance is 1,027 and the time is 14.5. And you would pick up your calculators and see if you can get an answer before me. Placing that into my calculator gives me the display of 70.8275 and some other numbers. And we need this to the nearest kilometre per hour. So this 8 means we need to round up. So that is 71 kilometres per hour. And it's a word question, so we should have a word answer. So therefore, the average speed is 71 kilometres per hour. Part B of this question says, how far to the nearest kilometre could he travel at this speed in 50 minutes? So once again, I'm just going to work out the information that I have. Now, this question is telling me my time, which has changed. My time is now 50 minutes. My speed I already have from the previous question, and that is 71 kilometres per hour. And I'm needing to find the distance that I am going to travel. Now, the problem I have here is my speed is in kilometres per hour and my time is in minutes. So the first thing I need to do is to make my time into hours. And to do that, I'm going to put it as a fraction of an hour, which is 50 minutes out of 60 minutes in an hour. Now, my formula for speed is speed equals distance over time. And in this case, I'm just wanting distance. So I'm going to multiply both sides by t. And I end up with st equals d. So distance equals speed times time. So now I can place in the values I have. Speed is 71. Time is 50 out of 60. And I can put this into my calculator. And my calculator gives me the answer of 59.166, etc. Let's have a look at what we need to do. How far to the nearest kilometre? Well, that means I'm rounding to the nearest whole number. So the answer to this is going to be 59 kilometres. And it's a word question, so therefore I should have a word answer. Therefore, he can travel 59 kilometres in 50 minutes. Part C of this question says, how long in hours and minutes would it take him to drive 864 kilometres at this speed? So once again, we need to write down everything that we need to know. So now we know that distance in this case is 864 kilometres. My speed is still the same, so my speed is 71 kilometres per hour because we found that out in part A. And in this case now I'm asked to find time. So using my formula that speed equals distance over time, I'm now wanting to find time. So I'm going to multiply the s by the t to get st, speed times time equals distance. And then I'm going to divide by speed to get time equals distance over speed. Now once I've rearranged my formula, I can just place in the numbers. So I've got 864 over my speed, which is 71. Now placing this into my calculator gives me an answer of 12.169 and some numbers. Now, because we want this in hours and minutes, what we need to do is we need to find our hours and minutes key on our calculator, which looks something along these lines. And what you do is you need to get your calculators up, and I'll show you how I can use it on my calculator, because I'm just going to do 864 over 71. I'm just going to press equals. I'm going to press this button here, which should now turn it into hours and minutes. So you can see I've got 12 hours, 10 minutes and 8.45 seconds. So now I can write this down, and what I have here is 12 hours, 10 minutes and 8.45 seconds, and the answer we needed in just hours and minutes, so that's 12 hours and 10 minutes. So therefore we need a therefore concluding statement. Therefore it would take him 12 hours and 10 minutes to travel 864 kilometres at this speed. Thank you very much for watching.